Good morning, guys. Steve here with the market outlook for the week of August 4th. We're going to be doing these morning videos from now on, really just going through the market on Monday morning. So I hope everyone is enjoying their Monday. If you haven't already, please make sure you check out the weekend update, as that will be the basis for all our trades in the model portfolio and the strategy sessions for this week going forward. So I definitely suggest you check that out. But let's take a look at the market. Last week, obviously, we know we had some selling pressure. I'm looking at on the S&P 500. We're going to look at the futures. We're going to look at the S&P 500, the NASDAQ, and the Dow futures. I don't really pay too much attention to the Russell futures. A lot of other people do, but not me. To be honest, I don't really look at the Dow futures either, but they're the main three index. So we're going to look at those. But anyway, going back to the S&P 500, we had this uptrend line that was broken on Thursday, and then we had some continuation on Friday. Basically, if you look at the weekly charts of these indexes, or indices, I guess would be the right plural pronunciation. So the weekly chart of the S&P 500 future, we're coming right back into this trend line support on the weekly, also coinciding with this area in here, this consolidation area. So, I'm not exactly sure, and we're not predicting where this is going to go, but I think in the weekend update I mentioned that the 1880 level was really something that I could see the futures testing eventually. Maybe we put in a couple of days or a couple weeks of downward action. But at this point, we are broken. We did break, like I said, on the weekly, we're coming into support, but we did break the daily trend line. And again, here's this 1880 level, 1900 level. So, it really all depends on where you're going to draw your lines, but I'm looking at like this area in here as support. As you can see, the 50-day moving average did break. So I wouldn't be surprised to see some more downward action coming down to this 1900 level. Right now, we even broke the previous low, I guess, because there was this consolidation. We broke a lot of things. We broke a lot of lows. But, one thing that we were looking at last week in the strategy sessions was this consolidation here holding, and obviously that broke. The 50-day moving average broke, daily trend line broke, and now this swing low broke, this swing low broke. So the next area I see that we would enter would be this 1886 level. So now we'll look at the NASDAQ. The NASDAQ actually was the stronger of the three indices last week. As you can see, we didn't actually break on the weekly chart. We're still well above what I'm considering to be the longer term trend line on the NASDAQ. So, I'm looking at something along those lines. And then on the daily chart, I'm looking at, coming back through these lows. So we're really bouncing. And right now, the one thing with the NASDAQ that, makes me, or indicates that it is stronger, is it's still above the 50-day moving average. Okay, so we're still in this consolidation. We're still above the 50-day. We're still above the trend line support. So this one is definitely the stronger of the three that we're going to look at. But with the S&P broken, and eventually you will see that the Dow was broken. I don't really see this NASDAQ being able to continue its relative strength without the other two indices. So like I said, we're really, for this one, I think if we can get some sideways action out of the NASDAQ next week, that would be a plus, as opposed to following suit with the Dow and the S&P 500. And then, of course, the Dow being the last index that we're going to look at. Again, here was the trend line support that we were looking at last week with the strategy sessions. So you could see, obviously, that on the weekly chart, we broke. All right, so this is a broken stock. We even broke. We're sitting right now at, here was the previous highs of consolidation, and we're, depending on where you draw that line, we even broke that, minimally. So, the next spot that I would see for the Dow would be right around this 16,000 level. Would be a great support based off of the weekly chart. And now if we look at the daily chart, again, we had a more accelerated trend line that we were looking at. Along those lines, that broke, the 50-day moving average broke, and now we're actually sitting well below consolidation support levels on those breaks. So, right now I'm thinking that we may get a little bit of a rally in the beginning of the week up to this 1660 level, and then potentially come down and make a lower high and then a lower low, until we can come down and maybe test this 1650 or even this 1590 level that we had identified on the weekly chart. So that's it for this morning, guys. So use that as a roadmap towards whatever you're doing. For trend following, of course, we still rely on the individual stock performance. So we are actually entering a position in Expedia this morning. So like I said, that was identified in the weekend update. So definitely make sure you're following me on Twitter, StockTwits, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and visit the blog just for all that information. We also do have a newsletter that we send out. So, if you're not on the social media network, then, you could definitely get the information via email. So like I said, that's how we're proceeding this week. I think it's a cautious week. I think it's definitely a week that is going to determine how the rest of the year plays out. If we can go ahead and rally back, like the past 2 days never happened, which I don't see that happening. That would be a huge bullish advance. Other than that, I think this week, if we can get some sideways action, I think that would be beneficial to the bulls. And of course, if we get some more downside, then it looks like the bears are in control. So manage your trades accordingly. Make sure you have your stops in place, and let's see how the week plays out. Don't forget to check out the strategy session tonight, and we'll see you next week for another update.